Nick Mattiello is the king of Rhode Island politics. He has dominated the state's political scene since orchestrating his rise to the top after the arrest and incarceration of former Speaker Gordon Fox. In Rhode Island, the Speaker has more power than the governor. Today, his reign is in limbo, stagnant, pending the outcome of a trial of a former top consultant and an ongoing grand jury that may determine his future. Mattiello's political fortunes are on hold due to a global virus. His legal issues, in part, are linked to a political mailer. A simple postcard, one of dozens sent out during a political battle in 2016. Ironically, the mailer was sent by an anti-vaccination activist who had lost in the Republican primary that year. In that primary, she only received 122 votes. A mailer, Mattiello's effort to help an old friend who worked at the convention center, and a pandemic have frozen the current Speaker in time.
Hi, this is Nick Mattiello, the Speaker of the House for the state of Rhode Island. I just want to wish everyone a happy and safe Easter. I recognize we're in different times, we're socially distancing from one another, but do your best and have a blessed, happy day with some family, limited in number, but with some family and some friends and some loved ones.
Friday, March 21st, 2014 was the day. Mattiello was House Majority Leader under then-Speaker Gordon Fox and came to power just days after the FBI and Rhode Island State Police raided Fox's office in the State House. Fox rose to power succeeding Bill Murphy. Murphy and Fox had run the House of Representatives combined for more than a decade. Murphy stepped down and Fox took over as Speaker in 2010. Murphy and Mattiello formerly shared law offices. They were close friends and Murphy brokered the deal for Mattiello to be Fox's number 2. But after the raid on Fox's office, Mattiello moved fast to solidify his power and topple Fox. Fox's office was raided on a Friday. By Monday, Mattiello had solidified power and was the new king. A few months later, Fox pled to multiple federal charges. Fox's attorney was none other than Bill Murphy. Mattiello took over as Speaker. Murphy continued as one of the most powerful lobbyists in Fox. Well, he went to jail for 3 years.
I just have to stand up, take responsibility from it, learn from it, be a better person, notwithstanding it, and continue to try to be who I am. Trying to be the person that cares about people, cares about this state, is concerned for people's well-being, as my record would indicate. But I know that this taints, as the judge struck, a lot of the 22 years that I've done and the good work that I think I've done. But hopefully this ends one chapter of my life, but hopefully we'll begin a new chapter, and I'm got a difficult road to hoe.
As a teenager, Mattiello worked for his father's company, Mattiello Drilling and Blasting in Cranston. Mattiello took a traditional path of a Rhode Island politician, LaSalle Academy to Boston College, and then to law school at Suffolk. Then he worked for Joe Bevilacqua Jr., the son of the former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. The senior Bevilacqua was forced to resign from the court for his ties to organized crime, La Cosa Nostra. FBI files secured by GoLocal documented at the time of their writing. The State Commission on Judicial Tenure and Discipline is currently conducting closed hearings concerning Chief Justice Joseph Bevilacqua, Rhode Island Supreme Court, regarding the facts that Bevilacqua wrote a letter to the Rhode Island Parole Board prior to Raymond Patriarca's January 1975 parole supporting the parole for Patriarca. And the FBI reported, a second source advised during February 1977 that contacts between Patriarca and Chief Justice Joseph Bevilacqua in 1964 received part of the loot from an armed robbery of the Outlet Company in Providence, Rhode Island. The younger Joe Bevilacqua and Mattiello were not only office mates, but also friends and socialized together. They were good friends with drug kingpin Charles the Wolf Kennedy, and both Bevilacqua and Mattiello were regulars at Kennedy's lair in East Greenwich, a place of near-constant parties with strippers and cocaine.
I met Nick in the late 80s or early 90s out of the law office on Broadway, which was the Bevilacqua, Joe Bevilacqua's law office. Or as I call him, or we call him, Judas Bevilacqua. I had a lot of beautiful women, exotic dancers from certain strip clubs, and yeah, Nick was there. Who wouldn't want to be there, is what I say. He was invited. But we were friends, and as friends, we communicated daily. And Nick also did legal work. He handled part of my divorce from Patty, my second wife. Other than that, it was a pretty close friendship.
Kennedy was convicted under federal drug king statutes by the Justice Department. The designation was signed by then U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno. The younger Bevilacqua had his own troubles. Bevilacqua was sentenced in October 2008 to 21 months in prison for shaking down 2 drug dealer clients from Fall River with another Rhode Island lawyer, John Cicilline, the older brother of then Providence Mayor David Cicilline, now a U.S. Congressman. A GoLocal report in 2017 found that convicted felon and disbarred lawyer Joe Bevilacqua Jr. was managing one of Rhode Island's premier tennis facilities and working with both children and adults. What makes the former high-profile attorney's vocation of concern to some was that in the early 2000s, he was tied to a disturbing case involving his relationship with a 16-year-old girl from East Greenwich. That story made national news because of lurid details about Bevilacqua's alleged behavior. As for Kennedy, before he was convicted by the feds, his relationship with Mattiello continued to grow, said Kennedy.
Nick was there when there was harassment, which was almost daily by various law enforcement agencies. I think there was some issues with the kennel and the wolves that I had in my backyard in East Greenwich, and I needed Nick's legal advice on that.
Kennedy was one of the guests at the christening of Mattiello's son. He has known him for decades.